Hello and welcome. Jason Gilbert here. This is a walkthrough of the Video Global Evangelism Guide that I created. How to spread the word of God to millions of new people via online video or audio with little to no money, even if no one's ever heard of you. So real briefly, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and why you should even listen to me. And then I'll walk you through step by step what this is. So I'm here in the U.S., depending on where you are listening. I grew up on the East Coast, went to college on the East Coast, was a U.S. Marine Corps officer for 10 years till my wife passed away unexpectedly. I had two very young daughters, 3-year-old and 8-week baby daughter on life support in a coma. She survived, but so I separated from active service. I was one of the few, I don't know how, I've never met another Marine officer that had 3 commands at the rank of captain. I ended up getting promoted to major in the reserves, but had a great career up until that point. And, special operations, commanded one of the 8 tank companies in the Marine Corps, in charge of drill instructors at one of the 2 Marine boot camps, the one here in San Diego. And then I went into business for myself as an unemployed, widowed, single father. Started a business that when the economy crashed, we took off like a rocket. And I ended up innovating and pioneering a lot of the things that are online today, used by millions of people around the world. In fact, one of Facebook's most profitable and popular things in their advertising suite of ads was something that I innovated and created on their platform with their permission, of course. And they liked it so much they adopted it and made it, part of Facebook. They didn't hire me to do it, so no, I didn't get any money, and that's okay. But so I was able to do that and many of the other successful things because I surrounded myself with really good people. And I'm always looking to meet new people, so you're always welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions or whatever, and I'll do what I can for you philanthropically, of course. So I'm not doing any of this for money. And God's always provided the money that's necessary. I don't consider myself an evangelist. I want to help evangelists. I guess we're all kind of evangelists, but I'm talking about the full-time, really, where it's like their mission in life is to go and evangelize. So I want to empower you to be more successful at what you do and reach far more people. It has been so obvious to me. I traveled around the world, 25 countries I've had clients in on all the continents except for actually South America. I've had some people from there, but I'm not spending time there. But for 6 years, I was traveling the world, Asia, Africa, Australia, Europe, US, North America, Canada and all that. And I had noticed that if people knew how to use the internet and especially video better, their business could blow up like mine did. I mean, we made $1.2 billion in the first 4 days. Back when all this stuff was new, there wasn't software to do it all. We had to figure it all out, hire coders and all these technical people. And I grew that into an 8-figure business. Then when I exited that business, I went into the consulting of CEOs and startups around the world, innovated some of these online things before and during that. And then decided after I had a recent accident, near-death accident, I quadruple near-death, 2 massive collisions on an interstate with 2 huge pickup trucks, a drunk driver head-on, and then the police report said it was a foreign national, unlicensed from across the border, smashed into me and my daughter from behind and crushed us into a tiny little box. So my daughter had, lots of broken bones, ribs, both collarbones, 18 pins in each one back, and collapsed lung and a ruptured aorta, which is what killed Princess Diana. 10% survival rate statistically, but heart surgeon saved her life. When the doctor teams say miracle, they don't say that very often. And that, in my case, a traumatic hemorrhage, brain hemorrhage, traumatic brain injury, all kinds of other stuff, and was pretty bad. I had double respiratory failure in the hospital and clinging to life. So that wasn't too long ago. Just been going through a long rehab with that. But I realized, I think it's time. I want to share my talent to help people in evangelism to be able to use these online technologies, most of which are free or really, really inexpensive. And if you do spend money, I'll show you how to do it really smart. So you're not flushing money down the drain, but you're getting an immediate impact, an immediate effect. So the objective here, I presume for everybody listening, or for you listening, I'm talking to you. So is it you want to spread your message far more than ever before with less time and effort? That's what I want to help you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through this guide that I typed out for you and just kind of talk through some of the things and expand on them a little bit. By the way, when you listen to a video like this, you're probably listening on YouTube, because my goal is to do what I'm teaching you to do, which is YouTube videos can be found by a lot of random people that are searching for a specific thing. And I've caused YouTube videos to become #1 on page 1 of Google in one day, if you follow what I'm teaching you. So this particular one, if you're watching on YouTube, you can speed up a YouTube video, and if you think you can listen to me, comprehend what I'm saying faster, you can speed it up and turn on the captions so you can read what the translator, Google Translator is pretty accurate. That's how I watch YouTube videos, and I watch them at 2x usually if I can. So if it takes you an hour to watch something, it takes me a half an hour. Saves time. We can then use that time for other things. So let's go ahead and go through the objectives. 5 things. You choose any or all that are important to you, and then this guide will help you with that. #1 is to reach many more people with your message than you ever could in a building. There's so many people that spend so much time and effort trying to get people to come to a building when you can just reach them online from home, especially after the pandemic. And, I was one of the first users of Zoom and all that technology, and I kept in touch with my clients around the world. So for me, it was a normal thing, but everyone feels like, no, you got to be in person. It's great if you can, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to limit yourself to that. I'm not saying one is better than the other. There's pros and cons, but there's so many more people you could be connecting with and reaching with your message online. So that's #1. #2, target specific definable audiences. Who is your ideal audience? Where are they? Location, city, country, wherever. What's their age? Maybe these things don't matter, but if they do, you want to write them down. Their gender, men, women, hopefully both. But maybe you just appeal to one or the other. Specific religion. So one of the great relationships I have is with Steve Sharp, who runs Global Heart Ministries. They've been evangelizing for many years in closed Muslim countries with satellite TV, but now they're using the internet and to I won't get into too much detail, but the Muslims in those countries see the ad, they click on it, they watch a gospel presentation, they download a PDF Bible, hundreds of thousands of downloads. It's like, could you imagine trying to go and deliver, how much money and risk there is delivering the Bibles that, someone could die, end up getting killed, arrested, whatever, and they get lost or confiscated. This is just so much faster. And then he tracks his numbers at every step. And so I'm philanthropically consulting and advising, helping him boost his conversion rates on that. So if you're targeting a specific religion, one of my other really close friends, and he's an evangelist to the Jews in Israel. He's Jewish American, and but he can totally connect with them. Most of them, he said, are like secular, and they either have a misconception of Jesus. Either they think he's something bad, or they just have it all wrong. And when they realize who he is, who he was and is, they love him. And so he's another one of those that he targets. One targets Muslims, one targets Jews. You target whoever you want. You can target everybody, secular, atheist, whatever. So I know Michelle Winder and her husband, who's also a pastor. She specifically has had just tremendous, statistically, almost like every atheist she speaks to comes to Christ. She's just got a way of like figuring out what it is, and why they're an atheist, and then releasing that, and it's just amazing. I think she said there was like one that she thought was really like possessed or something. So moving along, number 3 objective, groups. Unlimited number, unlimited size, public or private. That's the great thing about it, is you can create groups, and they're free. Facebook groups, typically, or there's different ways to do it, but Facebook allows you to create a free group, and they're promoting groups more than anything else right now. But you can have as many groups as you want, make them as big as you want, make them open to everyone, or limit, you have to like get permission to get in, and you have to meet these criteria and stuff like that. If you want, you can have people fill out an application. You can make a free application on Google. You go to the Google, where Google Docs and Google, it's called Google Forms. It's free. You fill it out. They fill out the form. It sends you an email. I mean, it's a great way for just any application for anything. But so the fourth thing is everything we want to do is no cost for the first 3, right? Or invest a little bit in ads to grow and reach your people further and faster. Now, don't be thinking ads meaning like an advertisement, like where you're like, hey, it's me, da 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 da, like you're doing on TV. What I'm talking about is you make a message. It can be an hour long, half hour long, whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's a good message, and you post it on Facebook, YouTube, and you can post a lot of messages, but if one in particular is doing really well for some reason, like lots of more people are seeing it and engaging with it, meaning likes, comments, and shares, then that's the one you spend money on with a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad, and you can target in Facebook and YouTube who sees it. And you say, show this to all the Jews in Israel, or show this to the Muslims here, or show this to, Christian believers in this part of the country, in this city or whatever. And that's who sees it, nobody else. And then that's a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad, but no one on their end see, oh, I'm watching an ad. All they know is they're seeing it. It's showing up on their news feed. Okay, so that's the fourth one. The fifth one is donations. I'll show you how to get donations when you're online. Not that everyone should. You got to decide if you should or shouldn't, or when you should, and how to do it the different ways. And that'll fund the objective number 4, which is to do things for no cost or as low cost as possible. And if you do spend money, spend them on the ads. Okay, so there's some major decisions you need to decide. Number 1, who you're going to reach, right? Because that affects objective 2 above. Like I said here, objective 2 is who you target. Are you going to reach like the lost, and the kind of the new that you want to convert into believers, or do you want to reach the found? Those are the believers and the saints, or both. That's fine. So you decide, whichever. And then you got to decide video format. Do you do live or do you do recorded? The nice thing is you don't have to choose one over the other. It can be, I would experiment with both. Here's the advantage of live. It's really good for interaction. There's people on there. You can tell them, hey, if you like what I said, just press the like button. And then you see all the likes on Facebook. And YouTube has that too, but or you can hit hearts if, on Facebook. But comments are the big thing, or share, or they can invite other people and things like that. That interaction, the back and forth, but a lot of times you just want to give a message and it's not really intended to be interactive. You just want people to listen and take heed. So the advantage of recorded, and some people are better at live. They're just under the pressure. They're more alive when they're live. Other people, like myself, if it's recorded like this, I'm better with that. I can make it more watchable, and you can make it sticky, which is with editing. There's a lot of things you can do to a video aside from the editing you need to do, which is like cut out all the mistakes and the dead space and things like that. You can Google like the world's top YouTubers and look at some of their videos on YouTube. their thumbnails are these big, bright things that get your attention. The title is a clickbait, makes you want to click it. And then when you're watching it, every like second or 3 seconds, it cuts. It zooms in, it zooms out. There's bloop, 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 animation all around. That's an expensive editing. Those people are making a lot of money, but that's what sticks the youth to watching. I'm not suggesting you do that, but some editing can help, the cuts and things like that. But the nice thing about recorded is you can kind of script it. You can, not necessarily a word for word script unless you're really good at that, but outline on what you want to say. You go in and you can make a mistake and wave and say, all right, so that the editor or you, if you edit your own, sees the wave. All right, I'm going to cut everything out, and I see he started over, and he's doing that part again. So, you can do both. Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram Live, it's automatically recorded unless you delete it. So after you do it, you might only get 5 or 10 people that are on live, and then you could get 1,000 people that watch it over the next week. So it attracts more views over time, but it's not edited. That's the thing, is you can't edit it. So you got to be kind of good with that. Now, then you got to decide video platforms, which ones you're going to use. So YouTube and YouTube Live, 2 billion users out there. You do that through them. It's one live guest. Same with Facebook. Facebook and Facebook Live. It's all part of Facebook. And it allows one live guest. Now, you can use their software that you can use on your computer that runs through Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Instagram and everything. It can do multiple Facebook channels or Facebook pages in groups, because you can do live in groups, or YouTube channels, all through this one little portal. And I'll talk about that a little bit. There's a free version and a really cheap version. And this is like if you were to just do it directly, YouTube or Facebook Live. I would say do the other one if you're going to use that software, if you're going to do anything live, because you can do it all then. And then there's Zoom. Zoom, though, is not a social media platform. Don't be confused. It's just live meetings. It doesn't invite people. Like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram lets people know you're live, and it comes up on their phone. And I show below like examples so you can see the screen. Hey, I'm live, and they see, oh, Jason's live right now, and they get notifications and things on their computer or on their phone. Even if they're not on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram at the time, they'll still get notifications. And Zoom doesn't do that. Zoom is, you have to say, hey, we're coming to a meeting. It's like coming to a meeting. You'll be here at this time and all that. But you can have multiple guests. You can do screen. You can share the screen, and it's easier to record on Zoom to do future editing. I've got a article here, how to do that if you want. So this I would not recommend. It says you can stream to both Facebook and YouTube. It's supposed to be YouTube, YT, at the same time on 2 PC windows, or if your phone allows multi-windows like some do, Samsungs. I'm actually going to take this out of here, because this is not recommended, because the software that I have down below is free, and it's much better at doing this than trying to start Facebook on one window and YouTube and all that. So I'm taking that out. Now, then you got to decide what's the frequency and duration of your messages. If you're going to do live, don't do more than 1 to 3 times a week. Every day is, and who wants to watch someone every single day? Even on the news. The top news, cable news. They're Monday through Friday for an hour, but they're just pros. They've been at it for. I guess you can do as much as you want, but every Monday, do it regular. Every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, or every Tuesday and Thursday, or whatever. Wednesday and Sunday, or Saturday, whatever works for you. And of course, when you record as often as you can or want. You can record daily if you want, and put the videos out there. And the duration is not important. People are like, oh, don't do long videos, don't do short videos. Experiment with different lengths, a few minutes, a half hour, an hour, or I would say probably no more than 2 max. The longer it is, the people who stay to the end, and you can go on YouTube and Facebook and it'll show you like how long your audience sticks with you. The people that stay to the end, man, they're really committed. And most people, you get a lot of drop off, but if you're good, you can get people on and kind of get them to stay on with practice, so they're not bored and distracted leaving. All right, so let's talk about the video presentation. When you're presenting on your video, you need to decide what device you're going to use. Are you going to use a phone? Or if you use a phone, you use a stand, something to put it in so it's still and you're not holding it and shaking. Or you're going to use a tablet, same thing, or a computer like I'm using right now, a laptop. If you use a computer or a PC, make sure you've got microphone with sound. My computers don't have any, and I was just on a Zoom today, and somebody running for Congress and they couldn't get on. They couldn't have any sound. I knew them, and they were like the best speaker. Unfortunately, they got it figured out. They switched to their phone, but you want to make sure your sound is working. Now, you can decide if what you're going to use to record. If you're doing recordings, now if you're doing live, none of this matters, because you can always just download the video afterwards from Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or Instagram Live. It records it automatically. Otherwise, you record it with some software and then you upload it. So QuickTime is on every Mac. You turn it on and it'll record. It can record your screen or record you, not both like this. But the files are large, and you can't like switch back and forth from. If you needed to show the screen and show yourself and like kind of flip back and forth, you can't do that. Now Loom is what I'm using. Loom is free and it's easy. You can upgrade to like $5 a month to get really high quality videos, better than 720. This is 720, so it's pretty good. And I'm not in great light or studio conditions. So the Loom is just a website. You go there, loom.com, and you sign up, and it works. It's great, and it just makes the video on the internet as soon as you're done private. But it creates a link for you, and you can send it to a video editor, and they can download it and then upload it to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or edit it of course first, or you can do it yourself. And then of course Zoom, you can record with Zoom. The main advantage of doing that is, even if it's just you and it's not a meeting, is being able to show the screen and then show you, and have you like this here. I'm in the corner, but with Loom I can't go, okay, show me the whole screen. Now show the whole screen of text or graphics, and then show. You can't do that. You can do that with Zoom. Zoom is free as long as you don't go over 45 minutes. And but it's not high res either. So I would just most people are good with Loom. All right, let's talk about video retention. So there's some percentage of people that always stop watching. Some people stop watching this, and this isn't for me. I'm busy. I'm distracted. I've got a phone call, whatever. You want to compare your video stats of each video to learn what retains them best, and say, wow, look at this video. My stats are so much better. More people watched, or the same watched, but the drop-off was much less or more. And why is that? Is it your charisma, the content, the topics? Are you doing cliffhangers? Say, don't go anywhere, because in a minute I'm going to talk about da-da-da-da-da-da. You get people that they're just kind of thinking, oh, I should go. Okay, maybe I'll stay around a few more minutes. Or you're previewing what's coming up next. We're giving them incentive. Stick around to the end, because everyone who does, I'm going to give you da-da-da-da-da. Some great tips or whatever, and in some cases, how you edit the video keeps them long. So it's kind of a guessing game, but over time you get better and figure out what retains your viewers better. Now, social media gives you all these stats for free, which is good. And if you don't know how to do something, just Google it. Just Google or YouTube. I learned so much on YouTube. Bill Gates says. It's in his LinkedIn profile I saw the other day. No opinion here. positive or negative about him. I know, very opinion. Voracious reader. I'm a voracious YouTube watcher. I learned so much on YouTube. If I don't know how to do something on the computer, or just about anything, something with the car, whatever, I Google how to da 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 da. I usually just speak in my phone, and it just comes up on YouTube, and I watch it. So if there's something you don't know how to do, just how to da 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 on YouTube, and or on Google, and YouTube video, and some other videos should just come up, and you just watch it. Simple. All right, so now let's talk about video production. So this is really important. You want, first of all, good light. And all good light has to be, I'm in front of a window right now, and the sun is actually setting, so it's not the perfect light, so I've got a little bit of a shadow. But the worst thing you do is when the light is behind you. Then you're dark, you're a shadow. Natural light is the best, like on a cloudy day. If it's too bright or too sunny, or you end up with a bad shadow on your face or behind the wall or whatever. And the sound, this is my laptop sound. So if you like this, then just use your Mac. I'm using a MacBook. But external mics are much better. So I put 3 of them: an affordable, a mid, and a premium in there. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. If I did, it would all go to my nonprofit. I have a couple Christian orphanages in Kenya that I sponsor and construct. And actually, Orphan Angels we're forming, where we, for $5,000 to $10,000, any person, organization, or church, and we will build the orphanage for you. And we will do all the planning, all the work. You'll just have an orphanage. And when it's done, and you'll be connected with the people who run it, and you don't have to run it, you don't have to fund it, just fund the construction. It runs itself. And you get to connect, via video with live video stream with everybody there, the children and the adults, the pastors that run each orphanage, and you can go visit too. So that's another thing about me, probably good to know. All right, so that's the background. Height is really important. I skipped background. So the background, you want it to be professional, something kind of plain, like mine's kind of plain. Avoid distracting items. People and pets are the worst. Somebody walking behind, or you'll see an example I have down at the bottom. A U.S. senator, because they were home from the COVID thing, and he's got a dog sitting there in the fireplace. And it was like the camera was more on him than the dog than him. It was like I guess he wanted everyone to see his dog. Like, really? Don't you want us to listen to you? Or you want us to go, oh, look at the dog? So no distraction. I've seen some of the things on the wall, shelves. You're like, oh my God, what are they doing? No one's listening to them because they're looking at, what is that back there? So that's the key with background. Height, eye level is the key thing. So this is actually a little bit low. It's looking up. It's not as bad as a lot of people do. A lot of people are like this, they're like, you're like looking up their nose. But laptops and desks are not eye level. This was a few inches down. I just turned it on because I'm not trying to be super professional, but you should be, because you're trying to really connect with people and draw them in. And so put a few books or, a box or something, and get that camera, or if it's a phone, the stand at eye level. The distance should be not too far, not too close. So you don't want, the head cutting off, and you don't want to be so far away that they can't see you. And then the attire. You don't want anything too distracting. My rule is don't be slick and don't be sloppy. But you probably kind of have a way you dress, and, whatever you would dress when you speak in front of a group is probably what you should do. All right, so now let's talk about video editing. Video editing for recorded videos, it's optional. You don't have to do it, but it's recommended. When I say video editing, I'm talking about brightening it if it's too dark, making the volume louder if it's too quiet, trimming some things out or off the ends, usually all the fidgeting around and getting ready to start and all that, or deleting stuff in the middle. Cuts and zooms. Cutting and zooming makes the video more engaging. And if you're going to get a video editor, it's kind of time consuming to do it. But if they're going to do everything else, you can just say, hey, every once in a while, put a cut or resume in. You can insert clips of other videos and pictures, graphics, sounds, captions. Captions are great across the bottom for silent watching. Now, you can turn captions on YouTube and Facebook. No, you have to actually record them and usually you got to pay somebody to add captions to your, especially, and make sure that they're accurate. But even if they're not accurate, the captions are good. Advertisers use them a lot on Facebook because their video comes up, and you know how you don't hear the video because Facebook mutes videos automatically by default unless you have the setting different. So what you come up, especially if you're spending money on Facebook to target people with your message, and you want to get, instead of 100 views, 10,000 views, so you spend a few $100, you end up, and isn't that amazing? You spend a few hundred. Imagine how many evangelists do you know? If I said, hey, we have 10,000 people at the arena tonight, will you come speak to them? Oh yeah, they'd be fighting over each other. But get them to spend, a couple $100 on Facebook to reach 10,000 people. Excuse. So, something to think about. Now, so the captions, the nice thing is when people are scrolling and they see your video, if they aren't inclined to turn on the volume and listen to you, they'll just go by. But the words going by will stop them. They'll be like, oh, what's he saying? I need to listen, I need to turn on. So they can watch silent. They don't, they're like in bed and they don't want to wake up the person next to them. They can just watch it with the captions. But it also helps with the comprehension. So they hear what you're saying. So you've got to kind of decide, am I going to pay somebody? And I've got some sources down at the bottom that are real cheap where you can, hire somebody to do, or get a volunteer to do it for free. All right, then you've got to decide for editing. 3 ways to do it: free, paid, and hired. Free is good because it's free. If you've got a Mac, iMovie's built in, it's free, but it's not user friendly. It's okay if you're doing simple edits, but there's other free ones I put in the guide here in this article. I can't recommend any of them because I just don't know. I don't use them. You can do paid do it yourself, which is a little better because it's a better software like Adobe Premiere. Here's I put a link in here to some of the best paid ones that you pay for, but that's more the professional editors. The best thing is to hire somebody or just delegate it to a volunteer or a really low cost editor from Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is freelancers all over the world, and they'll edit your video, and you can go on Fiverr and you can see someone who has thousands of happy customers, 5-star reviews across the board. They get it done quick. And they don't get paid until they give it to you, and you have to like it. And then you say, okay, I accept the order, and then they get paid. It's one of the only businesses that way. So you don't have to pay and pray. It's a great place to get a lot of cheap work done. I've hired lots of people off Fiverr for lots of different things. You never meet them. You just don't know. You just send them a message, this is what I want, and they get it to you, and the money's held in escrow, and then it gets released to them when you're happy and you say it's accepted. Now, you can, like I said, I'm just reading, you can get on Fiverr, you can get people to do almost anything remotely for you. The great thing about hiring, you never want to do things that take you away from what you do best. Let the specialists do what they do best so that you can be freed up to do what you do best, which is evangelize and take the message of Christ to other people. Now, in here I put some examples of bad to worse to okay to good from on like problems with video. They're too high, too many distractions in the background, looking up the nostrils, that kind of thing. Then I show good, good angle, good distance, good lighting, no distractions. So just look at those. You can watch each one for 10 seconds to get an idea. Okay, let's talk about video posting. So when you don't have to do this when you are doing Facebook or YouTube or Instagram lives, because it just happens automatically. But if you're going to record and then upload, after you do that, and again, have somebody else do it. Just be like, here's the video, get it on YouTube, get it on my Facebook. And tell them the text to put, or they can even type the text if they're good. The text description is optional, but it's important to add, to be captivating. Because so many videos, because they're on silent, the text makes people want to focus on the video and turn on the volume and listen to you. It's kind of, or in YouTube, that's if it's in Facebook, it goes by. And it's like playing. On YouTube, it's just sitting over on the side, and they see a title and they're like, oh, they want to click it because it's clickbait. And you want to create good clickbait. So if you don't know how to do that, just saying what the video is about is usually not what, it has to be what's in it for them. Like, it has to be compelling. It's like subject lines for an email. The people who write good subject lines, all their emails get open. Everyone else has great content in their email. They might, but then the subject line's not compelling, it doesn't get open. Then when you post videos, the third and final thing is the links. You can add links under the video or around the video, whatever, depending on if it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And links to like a Google Doc, like this one, for more information, or to other videos, or to your website, or to an event, or to donate, any and all. Any link you want. You can have more than one link. And then volunteer recruiting. You can post online at any forum or Facebook group to recruit these volunteers to do some of the things I was just describing. What I would do is go into these forums or Facebook groups for looking for video editors, and just explain you're a Christian evangelist seeking someone to contribute some skill as a volunteer. And then there's no question, oh, am I getting paid? Okay. List the requirements, kind of like a job interview. What are your skills? Or tell them what skills they need to have, character traits, the time required, 1 hour a week, or, whatever it is, a few minutes a day, whatever. And then get your volunteers to do a lot of this stuff. It's amazing how many, especially the younger people, really know this stuff well, and a lot of them will do it for free. Okay, so now let's talk about donations. How can you get money? Again, what should you? That's a personal decision. I don't advocate necessarily one way or the other. It's right for people, it's not right for others. One way is an indirect ask. That's where you put a clickable link in the video description. You don't mention it in the video. You're not talking about money. Some people may see it. Others may actually ask about donating. I get some evangelists telling me, yeah, I got someone saying, hey, where can I donate? Or just raise money in your normal ways, So that's indirect. Direct is where you actually ask for money, you mention it, or you ask during the video presentation. You can do it soft. You could mention, and our donors, of course, are, we really value and treasure them because they allow us to kind of hint. Or, medium, or you can be real hard, like, hey, we really need this money to be able to accomplish this mission, for Christ or for our organization or whatever. And it's very direct. You can always give incentives and rewards. A lot of people don't think about this. Provide special name levels, like the gold, silver, platinum group, or create these groups, different groups of different. They don't have to be different levels. They could just be a different mission, or an event, or some other creative benefit that they get for donating. The next is to collect the money online. So you can use any easy to get approved merchant processor. Let me put that like in quotes, an easy to get approved merchant processor, like PayPal. It's pretty easy to start a PayPal and get approved. Like, some of them are like applying for a home loan. I mean, they're really, really strict because they get scammed and they lose money, and there's so many fraudsters out there. You always want to have a backup too. Don't run all your donations through one PayPal or one of the other things. Because if it goes down, then people are like, oh, I tried to donate and I can't. Well, donate now, and they're like, you don't hear back from them. So Antidote is a good one, .com. I have it on the guide here. Stripe is a very popular one. There's a few down at the bottom too that I put. QGive is another one. I think it's a little bit cheaper. All right, so when what you look at is you look at the rates that they charge you, because they always keep a percentage. How many days do they hold the money before they deposit? 1 to 3 is usually normal. What's a reputation for withholding money? Google them, because when it was just PayPal, man, they were really bad about. They'd say, sorry, your $50,000, we need to keep it, and we'll give it to you when we feel like it. And you like, what? You can talk to anybody, and they couldn't get a reason. And now with all the competitors out there, they're like a little bit better with the money, as far as I hear. The larger sums you collect, the more this is important. These things don't really matter if you're not collecting a lot of money online. All right, so branding. Let's talk about branding. Branding is, look, videos will spread more if your online presence or brand looks professional and credible. So your organization name, if it says what it does, that's the best. A lot of these names are trying to, be clever, and then people like no clue what it is if you have to explain it, probably not a good name. What is your organization tagline? That would be a phrase that describes the purpose or the benefit, right? What it does to help people, why they should want to join it. It should be real big, like across your website, across your Facebook channel, page, group, YouTube channel and stuff. And a personal tagline is for you. So it's better just not to have one than to have one that's gimmicky. But it's what describes you. What was the one I came up with for somebody the other day? Something about evangelism for fun. And I can't, with my brain injury, the memory's not so good. So just make them all memorable, unique, catchy, and compelling. That's the key. All right, so now let's talk about where you do the branding. Is on your Facebook page, you want a large banner photo. Those big banner photos can actually be silent looping video too, which is kind of cool. Just have somebody do it or upload it of any video, and you'll just see it'll just play. And people can actually click and hear the sound if they want. Not that many do. Your profile photo is a little square one in the corner or round one if it's YouTube. That's usually your face or your organization logo. Many people don't ever see those, and they just see your video when it comes up in their timeline, and that's the most important thing. So don't worry too much about how you brand your Facebook page or YouTube channel. It's important, but it's not top priority. Speaking of YouTube channel, there's a banner across the top and a profile photo, similar but not the same size as Facebook, and it's kind of a pain to get them to fit right. And usually you get a social media person who knows how, to like make you a nice banner or something. Again, this is not really that critical. You can be super popular without having a great, perfectly branded banners and things on your YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, the most important thing here is a text description and a link to your website or wherever you want it to go, like a donation page, for example. And a website. Now, a website's not critical. If you don't have one, you don't need to pay for one. You can just start doing videos if you're not already, or do them better with all the tips in here. And if you don't have a website, it's okay. People are there to listen to you, not grade you on how good your website is. Oh, you don't have a website? Okay, everything you just said doesn't apply. So people just really find videos much easier and cheaper than they do websites. Websites, you got to spend a lot of money for people to find your website. I have a video on my website. Doesn't matter. But if the video's on YouTube or on Facebook or on Instagram, people are going to find it and they're going to share it. So to get websites found, you got to hire usually and pay a certain pay an expert for SEO so that you come up on page one. Because if you don't come up on page one, it just isn't found for certain types of searches. Or you do paid Google ads so that you always appear at page one. That's how you get people to see your website. but getting people to just see your videos in their Facebook or YouTube or Instagram is by far more superior. And then from there, you can kind of point them to your website. Oh, after they hear you and they're like, wow, that's an amazing message, you can say, go to my website, the link below, and they'll go. All right, so how do we reach existing followers? And what I'm talking about, existing followers are people who already know you exist, and they have subscribed to your YouTube channel, or they liked your Facebook page, or joined your Facebook group, or they follow you on Instagram. All right, so when you do a Facebook Live, it invites those people. They are the ones that get the notifications. Nobody else does. Strangers don't, right? So, and you can invite other people to join you. You can say, hey, and press a button and choose somebody and kind of side by side with them if you want as well. Now, you can simulcast all your platforms from the PC with separate windows, but like I said, it's much easier to use StreamYard. It's free or low cost if you go with I think it's $20 a month or something. It's probably worth it, but you can do it for free. Try it. It's a free trial, or just try the free for a while and then upgrade to the paid one. And if people are typing in comments in Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, it's all flowing in, and you just see it in one place. And you can, oh, here's a comment, here's a question from so-and-so, and answer. And you can have guests, lots of guests, not just one like Facebook or YouTube, lots of guests at once if you needed to for some reason. You can even have like a green room where people wait and bring them on one after the other. It's really cool. So when you do live, I talked about like interaction. So you encourage people to like or love, to comment, and invite others if you're live, and say, hey, invite your friends, or to share if it's recorded. Make sure you share, like, comment, and share is kind of a common thing you want to say in these videos. Because the more viewers engage, the more the algorithms for Facebook and YouTube will invite other people and show other people your video. But again, the best way is just to pay Facebook or YouTube a little bit of money, and lots of people will see your video, and you can target the specific people you want to do it. And I'll talk down below exactly how to do that. You can hire people, but it's really hard to find good people. The best ones are usually too expensive, and I'll show you how you can do it yourself without pulling your hair out. All right, so live you can invite the guests like the cable news programs do. I talked about that. Your videos get far more views after the live is over, and it takes time to kind of build up an audience, and because again, they have to follow you or they're not going to even know about the live unless they've been invited by someone else. So you kind of have to prompt them, hey, invite other people right now. So you can schedule an event on Facebook. Your Facebook followers will see it. They can say, I'm coming, accept it or tentative or decline it. That can help a little bit. Otherwise, you got to send out emails and SMS texts. I put in the guide here. There's a way to send out a scheduling link for free where they get it in the text or email, and they just click it, and it puts it on their calendar at the right time that you set it for. Now, Facebook Messenger, here's the problem with Facebook Messenger. A lot of people go into Facebook Messenger, and they're like, I'm going to send a Facebook message to all my followers, and they're like, copy, paste, copy, paste. If you do that, first of all, if you send any links of any kind, suspended. They'll suspend your account. You only send reminders just prior, and there's only one software where you can send. If you have a lot of Facebook followers, otherwise don't even bother doing it. There's something called Go High Level. It's a CRM. It's really, really sophisticated, but really powerful, and you can send out. It's like sending a bulk email or bulk text. You could send a bulk SM or Facebook message to all. If you have like 10,000 or 100,000 followers or 1 million, it sends it out to everyone, and it doesn't violate the rules and get you shut down. All right. How do you reach new followers? This is probably the most important part for a lot of you, because a lot of you want to get a message out there to new people that have never heard of you. So there's I broke into two categories: demand generation, which is a way of pushing your message out, and demand fulfillment, which is pulling, like people are looking for a certain thing and they find you. So let's talk about each one. So the first one is the demand push, or demand generation, the push. And what you do, that's where you go live to your Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram followers. Remember, only the existing followers get notified. When it's and that's free. If people share you, that's free. You want to encourage it in the text above the video or around the video and in the video to get new followers. But again, the biggest game changer for if you do nothing else or remember nothing else about this, put some money towards the targeted ads in Facebook and YouTube. It's the fastest way to reach the people you want to reach. You literally pay those platforms to boost, which is a targeted ad. It's a term that is used sometimes. And again, look at all your past videos and go, wow, this one has way more. Now, if it has way more views because it's way older, it's not the same thing. But okay, I released them all, a week apart over the last several months. But that fourth one is really outperforming all the other ones. That one's going to perform the best when you do ads. When you call it an ad and pay money to push it out to a targeted audience. So ad prices have dropped tremendously during the COVID. So now is a really good time to do it, depending on when you're watching this video and what ad prices are like right now. The other one is demand fulfillment to pull. So this is where you kind of get YouTube to suggest your video to other people. And that's where it shows on mobile. It shows up at the bottom under the video they're watching, and on YouTube over on the side. I mean on a computer. They're both YouTube. When you upload a video, you pick tags and things that, like, if it's about, let's say you want people who watch Joel Osteen to see you for whatever reason. So you would put Joel Osteen in your tag. So when they're watching a video about Joel Osteen, your video appears and they're like, oh, what is that? And they see the clickbait and the thumbnail. It's not just, it's like some text and something, because you can upload a picture to be what people see as a thumbnail. And again, you hire somebody on Fiverr to do that. Just give them, a lot of them could just do it on their own based on what the video is, or you just give them some guidance. And when they upload a video, they make a thumbnail for it, or somebody else makes a thumbnail and sends it to the person who uploads the video. That simple. And but it's the tags that's going to make it appear. But then it's the photo and the title of the video that is the clickbait that's going to make people want to click it and watch it. Now, I made videos that had got a lot of views because of the way I titled them. It wasn't even about, like, if you don't upload a thumbnail, you just pick. YouTube will say pick one of the 3 frames, and like hopefully you're not looking too weird. And but I picked some of those without a thumbnail and gotten tens of thousands of views in a decent period of time. And I've had someone, I did a video for someone, I just talked about how good of a service he had, and his business, I loaded it on my YouTube channel, but I put the link to his website, and I made the title so that everybody who's looking for what he offers, in this case in Hawaii, would find it. He ended up becoming like the biggest guy on the island with the biggest business, doing what he does. It was amazing. He's so super grateful. He's just a really good guy. And you want your videos to appear in search results, and that's what I did for him. So when people search on, not only on YouTube but on Google, his YouTube video would come up. Because what I did is, instead of titling the video what it's about, I titled the video to kind of match what people search. And you also want to make it catchy so people see and click it. So what I do is think of the title as 2 things. The first half of the title is what eyeballs should see. The second half is what Google should see. When people search, if it matches there, that your video will come actually on Google. So everything else on Google on page 1 will be websites, and then boop, there's a video, and it sticks out because it's your video on whatever. And it's like how to pray so that God hears you, or something. And then there's all these articles and websites, and then boom, your video, and everyone's going to click that video, and that's how you get a lot of views really fast. So that doesn't mean don't put money into Facebook or YouTube ads, because but this is just a way of doing it for free. And if you create a Google ad account, you have to put in a credit card. You don't have to spend money. You have a tool called the search, and you can say, this is what I think people are searching. And then YouTube or Google will suggest lots of other searches instead. And some of those searches may be more popular than the one you came up with. So you're like, oh, I didn't think of that one. And so you'll make that one the title. And or if you put it in a description, that works pretty well too. Then it'll come up when people search. So you're doing video SEO when you do this. And it makes your video appear to many new viewers, both on YouTube and on Google. So I put an example here. Proof Jesus answers your prayers. That's the clickbait. You see that, you're like, oh, I want to know that. Dash, you can use a dash, a slash, doesn't matter, asterisk. How to know your prayers are heard. Okay, that's probably what someone would search, how to know. So the human eyes see the first half, and the second half, because it's so long, YouTube would kind of hide it unless someone clicked it. But the algorithm sees it. All right, so last thing I'm going to talk about here before I get into online groups is audio podcasts. That's, if you're like, I don't want to be on video, I just want people to hear me. Some podcasts are really popular out there. It's just audio, right? You just record. You can just record on your phone. Every phone has a recorder that makes MP3s. iPhone has a voice recorder. Samsung, a lot of times you go in the notes and there's a little record thing. There's different ways, but just Google for your phone how to record audios, and then you can export them as an MP3 and upload them to a podcast. So I have steps in here on how to do a podcast. You want to end up on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, but you can put podcast audio on YouTube as well. You just take the audio from, you can actually take it from any video too, and strip it out and put it out to the world as a podcast. So if you're making videos, why not also do a podcast? And you can do that in iMovie, or again, send it to someone on Fiverr for $5 and say, strip out the audio and send me back the audio in MP3. Actually, there's free websites. There's a bunch of websites where you can, just Google, convert YouTube video to MP3 or something like that. And you just put in your YouTube video link and it spits out an MP3. So there's different ways to do it. You can do it on iMovie, you can do it on a free website, or you can hire somebody, pay them cheap to do it. But then what you got, two things you need for a podcast. You need a hosting service and a directory. Hosting service is where the files are stored. Any hosting service will do. There's a bunch of them. They're under $10 a month. So I put a link in there with the best podcast hosting sites. And there's a free one called Anchor.fm that's on there as well. Or the direct, and then you need, number 2 is a directory. That's to list the name of your show and episode. So when people Google or search they're not Googling. When they search in the podcast, your podcast comes up and they're like, oh, I want to watch that one. That's where you send people, or like a link. It's like a website for your podcast. So you host your audios there, and then you send people the link. Or they'll find you when they search. So it's like iTunes is one, Spotify is one, Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn. You can use any of them or all of them. So I put a link in there about how to do all that. Couple links. And I put one in there. It's free, but it takes hours or days or even weeks to get approved. But and I put a real good video in here, short video on how to do sound and editing. But just start with a phone and earbuds and just record. Some people they get all this fancy stuff, and that's fine if you're really serious and really into it and you want to sound super premium. But you just get a phone and earbuds and just record, like I said, with the built-in app that's on the phone or the notes. And if you really grow big or worry about, want to get into this stuff a lot more, I have a great YouTube video in here for you to watch. Otherwise, just do what I said and don't overcomplicate it. All right, so last is the online groups. These are for sharing posts and information without meeting people. Like I said, Facebook is really pushing groups now. That's the big thing. And you you need to decide the name of your group. Remember the name, which can't be taken, and it should say what it does and what the benefit is. And then figure out some branding items. Have a logo. You can get decent logos made on Fiverr. You can spend a lot on logo websites. You probably don't need to do that. You'll need an image for the group, the main image. Might be the logo. A tagline that explains kind of what it does. And so you go in there, you just go on Facebook, create a Facebook group, or have somebody do it for you. But then you have to set the access as a public, private, or secret. So this is the main difference between groups and Facebook pages, and why they're going to groups. Is a public group is really a lot like a Facebook page. Anybody, you still have to join it, but anyone can come across it, see it, and click join, and then they get you get approved, and you're in. Private is, no, you don't have to get approved for public. You just click and you're in. Private is you click, you have to be accepted. Secret is no one can see the group on Facebook unless they're given a link to go to it. So a lot of times when you join something or pay for something, you get to be part of a Facebook group. It's, according to Facebook, a secret group. And then you get a link saying click this, and then you can join. But if you don't have the link, you don't get in. Still got to be accepted, so someone gets the link anyways. All right, so I've got some samples here. I'm not going to go over them now, but in the guide on what your people would see, people you want to reach would see, if you're doing Facebook Lives or YouTube Lives or Instagram Lives. There's some examples in here. What they see on their phone, on the home screen, or when they're in one of those apps. And then I have some sample evangelists down here that have really large followings. I'm not endorsing any of them, and just showing you so you can see what the big boys look like, and kind of see what the things they do are. And I put an example of a public Facebook group on here that's really big as well. And then here's some additional resources to wrap up with. I talk about Zoom, some things about Zoom, some things about Loom. And I'll probably put some links in here for it. The donation pages, or the donation services to collect donations and deposit them in your bank. And then using experts. Try to use, if you're going to pay any experts, use results-based versus the pay and pray. People that, and so you want to know one thing. If you're trying to reach people, it's how many views will I get for the money? They can't promise you exactly, but they should be able to give you some idea. And if they're like, I don't know, we have to try. The experiment should be like 15, 20, 30, $50 max. And then you should see some real results. But after a little bit of experimentation, it should be you should be able to know, with, say, if I spent $100, if I spent $500, how many would I reach? And the numbers can be really, really impressive. Could you imagine if so many of the evangelists out here, instead of being trapped in their little buildings, got on the internet, made videos, and put a little money behind them? Then the reach would just be magnified 1,000 times. 1,000 times. Because you could be speaking the word of God every day, or many days, not just a day you're in the building to the 40 people or even 400 people. It's just, your reach is so much greater if you can just do this. All right, so inform them of your decisions above, or ask to help them. Ask them to help you decide if you're going to do results-based or pay versus all the decisions above, all the decisions in the guide above. You got to tell them, this is what I want to do. I use my guide to let them know what you're doing and how to go through all the red decide things. And if you're not sure, they'll help you decide. Tell them what your objectives are. They'll decide what they'll do and what you'll do, but be very clear. That's where there's a lot of confusion. You think they're going to do something, they think you're going to do it. Nothing gets done. And then what's their expectation on results? Now, I have some vetted experts here at the bottom I want to end with. rather than go out and hire someone to do Facebook ads or YouTube ads, because like I said, the good people are hard to find and really expensive. So Travis Albritton, I met him recently. He seems like a really good guy. He has Digital Missionary Academy, and I'll show this to you here. But I connected with him. We had a great conversation. And Digital Missionary Academy, it's, I don't know, it's like free. It says join today for free, and then it's like if you like it, it's $20 or something. Yeah, $20 per month. It really teaches you how to do a lot of this stuff. And what I liked best about it is this Facebook group where he teaches you how to do the Facebook ads and use the Facebook ad platform to boost your videos and target them so that thousands of people who you want to see your video will see the video. And so you just go to this link that I put in here and go here, and you can sign up. Now, let me go back to that. The other one is if you need a website built, the guy to do it is Rion Miles. He can do Google ads and things like that too. You can talk to him about that. He's a believer like Travis. I have used him personally for many things. There's no kickbacks in this whatsoever. He's been so generous to me, discounts and everything. And I brought him clients from all over the world, and everyone's been super happy. I mean, I'm so selective with who I surround myself with and who I refer people to. So Rion Miles, his phone number and I think email is on the website. Now, he's in South Africa. It really doesn't matter, though. I mean, I work with people all over the world. With WhatsApp or Zoom, we just use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a free app. It's the most popular app in the world. We just get on the phone, or we just use the walkie-talkie thing on WhatsApp, or just send messages, or just email, whatever you like. But you're going to want to get on the phone or a Zoom and talk it all out. So it's just a time zone difference. You got to work through that. If you're going to use the WhatsApp, just email him and get his WhatsApp number. And these, you don't need like a whole army of people to do, other than some people on video editing and things like that. And Rion does like really high quality video editing as well. You can talk to him about that, see if it fits your budget. But if you just want super, super simple, although his prices are really tend to be low because of the conversion rate in South Africa and stuff. So you might want to check with him first, and then before you run off and hire some unknown person on Facebook, on Fiverr or Facebook to do your video editing. And but the websites he makes are just amazing. And he's won a Google partner. They load fast. He's got a measuring thing that Google measures how fast it loads. And but they look amazing, and the service, like he answers your emails, phone calls, crazy hours. It's just I couldn't be more happy. For years, he's just been building all kinds of stuff for me, and I've sent him, like I said, clients from all around the world that nobody has complained. No one. So that is a pretty rare thing. If there's anything else I can do to help you get the word of God out to people, and but that is what I want to do. That is what I'm meant to do, amongst some other things. So I know technology really well. I know this stuff really well. Like I said, developed some of it myself, and I'm just doing this philanthropically. So let me know how I can help you. I'll put a link or something in the video so you can learn a little bit more about me and contact me through my website. But again, I have nothing to sell, nothing to offer. I don't even do the business consulting anymore since I've had the auto accident. It's just philanthropic stuff and purpose-based. So this, I hope it was a lot, but this is, I crammed what would take weeks and weeks of, or months or years of learning, from Scatter. If you did a course, I mean, I basically gave you all the important stuff right, step by step in a row. It's like boiled down so you can just do it and implement it. And the most important thing is to do it. Do something. Do something is better than nothing. You talk about indecision is a decision. Don't decide to do nothing. There's no reason, no downside to trying this. and all upside. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Nothing. I just don't see any, at least the free stuff, right? I mean, if you spend a little money, it doesn't work out the way you want. Okay, well, at least you tried, and you're not going to have any regret. And that's the worst. Especially, it's one thing if it's a business. It's like, okay, you don't want to risk the money, but this is much more important than any business, right? Your Great Commission is able to happen now at so much more of a velocity. So do not make excuses on, that I don't have time, this and that. Here's the last thing I'll tell you is write down all the things that you do and delegate everything that someone else could do, so that you're only focusing on doing the things that you do best. Let them do the things they do best so you can do what you do best, the things that no one else can do. And if that's just talking and creating the message and doing it, let somebody else do everything else. And tell them, be objective based. Say, here's what I want to happen. Don't micromanage them and tell them how. Here's the results I want. I want this many views in this part of the world or this part of the country with these people, and I want to happen for this amount of money or less, and I want to happen by this deadline. That's what you do. You set the objectives. Let your people figure out how to do it. And you can get them all on, motivate them, inspire them, give them instructions, type it all out for them, put it on a Google Shared doc or whatever, or put somebody in charge of, you tell them what to do, they get everyone and they oversee it and make it happen. So all you have to do is show up. Back when I had a company and I went around the world, I was speaking on stages. All I did was I had people that filled the room. They worked for months to, get the event ready. It was like mini Tony Robbins. And all I had to do was show up, walk on the stage. Everything ran perfect. The sound, the lights, the whole everything. There was so much that went on, but the people there, it just seemed flawless. Like they just were like, wow, it must be easy. We made it look easy because it's not. And I was able to just be my best because I wasn't focused or distracted with all the other stuff. And you want to do the same thing. You want to delegate everything else to the people who are good at it, so you can do what you're good at, and then you can bring the message home. All right, God bless you. I hope that this has been helpful to you. Amen.